So this actually is the only senior on the volleyball team, number 12. Looks like the other seniors that are being recognized here are cross-country runners and a golfer.
Well, we had a little bit of an internet hiccup right there.
We good?
We're back on. We had about 2 minutes.
Do we have any viewers?
Not yet.
No.
Not on this feed, but it kicked everybody off. They've got to log on to this feed, so we'll see if they bump over.
They're wondering what happened.
But they got to see the whole JV game.
Yeah.
They might have missed out on Mr. Wolf, but that's all right.
That's tragic.
Yeah. So if you're just joining us, we apologize for the internet issue there at the end of that JV game. We're again on a Wi-Fi service here in Cullom that apparently is a little bit unstable. So I'll try to watch it a little better. Varsity team will get set here to take the court. And we'll bring that game to you here in just a few minutes. If you're just joining us now for the varsity game, the JV victorious in 2 sets tonight, picking up their second win on the season, now 2-3. We'll see if the varsity can do the same.
So it looked like Tri-Point just had the one senior. So they're not stacked with a lot of seniors. We happen to be stacked with about 6 seniors.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting next year because when you lose that many seniors, that means I would fully expect to see some of the freshmen and sophomore moving up and playing starting varsity, and that's going to leave things wide open for the JV as well. So it'll be interesting to see how Coach does that next year, because I know there's not a whole lot of 8th graders coming up that currently play. There's a couple, but not that many. So
yeah, so they're going to be
got 5.
There's going to be some players that are getting some double duty here, JV and varsity potentially next year. But I think you're right. I think the freshmen and the sophomore will be moving up into those roles that the seniors are filling a lot of this year.
And Damarajan, she's a senior as well, so they're losing their libero this year as well.
Yeah.
So your seniors for the Cyclones, you've got Anna Hancock, Lauren Unruh. These are the people that will be departing us after the season. Adrian Gary, Haley Webb, Olivia Hitteman, Jenny Damarajan, and those are the 6 that will be departing. So of that starting group, you're going to have Olivia Smith still here, Jess Halverson, and Kate Hancock. If Kate starts. Kate hasn't been starting yet, so Lauren's been in there. So really just Damarajan and Halverson are your 2 starters that will be around next year. So I know the girls want to make the best of this season. And we're still early here in the season. I think the girls, they've got a 4-game tournament coming up Saturday.
Yeah, that's in Decatur. So that'll be an all-day event.
And I'm just stream status poor. Why is the stream status poor? I'm working on it, folks. So we are broadcasting off of the internet service here in Tri-Point. Let me pull it up and take a look.
In the metropolis of Cullom.
Again, I think internet was just brought to Cullom.
Population of 600. So probably not a lot of customer base here to attract the major internet providers.
Well, hey, it was either us broadcast, and you put up with a couple of service drops, or you pay the $10.99 to get the feed that is their subscription service feed.
Yeah.
And I mean, it might be worth you $10.99 just to be able to listen without our mouths. I would pay $10.99 not to listen to me. My wife would pay more.
So you see Olivia Smith here warming up with Lauren Unruh. And those two work hand in hand at that net. And so after this year, Lauren's going to be graduating, but
Olivia Smith's going to have to carry that torch.
Yeah, she'll do well at it. And Kate Hancock is another one of those blockers up front.
Well, I'm interested to see how Olivia and Lauren respond tonight. If you never know, different teams, different age groups can be way different. But you know, if the play is not the same that we've seen all season long from the teams we've played, I expect to see Unruh and Smith have a big game tonight.
Yeah, I would fully expect that. I would like to see them get into a rhythm on this game here on the varsity, just to see just what they can do. We weren't able to see that on the JV. We just weren't able to get some good volleys going. So hopefully on the varsity side we can see some good volleys, get into a rhythm, and see some monster hits, some good blocks.
Chad Witt has requested some Jeremy Masters karaoke.
I need music for that.
Oh, I can hum a tune for you, man.
Oh man, now we're getting into scary territory.
So yeah, if you're joining us out there for this feed, sorry our last feed dropped due to some internet issues up here. But we're back. It does tell me that YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. So if you're noticing a little bit of a jittery or some buffering going on in your feed, that's just because of the internet service here. Not much I can do about it. Let me see how many bars I've got on my phone. I've only got 2 bars on my phone, so I can't even switch to hotspot and broadcast it. I
couldn't even pull up the radar when I was sitting out in the parking lot.
So Cullom is actually located, if you go to Pontiac and head about 22 miles to the east, you would run into Cullom. They have a Casey's here in town.
So you can get pizza if you are hungry.
And it'll probably be, I'm sure it'll be gone by the time I get there. JV victors in their match tonight. And we'll see if the varsity can do the same. We're in the midst of warm-ups here. So the varsity has, again, 1-3 on the season. And, you know, it's hard to say this because obviously we pull for Cornerstone. But this is not a 1-3 volleyball team.
No. They definitely started out this season with some competition that they don't normally face. And that's by design. That's how you get better, is by playing better teams.
Yeah, and coach wanted to do that. I mean, the whole purpose of playing during the season is preparing yourself for postseason and playing in some tournaments postseason and seeing how far you can get. And so you test yourself early so that you can address your weaknesses early on and build on them all season long.
Yeah, there's definitely strategy on how you schedule your teams throughout the season, like you're saying. And right now, I would look for tonight to be a night for the girls to have fun, get into a rhythm. And like Dave Wolf was saying, is when the girls are having fun, they play well.
Yeah, exactly. It just takes that one person. It usually is just one person out there that gets fired up, and that's typically, for the varsity, it's going to be Lauren Unruh. And again, everybody else responds to that.
Absolutely.
And you get her one big play, she's going to get charged up, hence the whole team's going to get charged up. And it'll be a whole different ball game.
Yeah, everybody's having fun then. They're loose. They just play better when they're having fun.
Yep.
And they can get into a rhythm, and that makes all the difference in volleyball.
Watching Tri-Point here warm up. They do have some height. And I see a lot of the JV players are also playing varsity here.
So that would lead you to believe that the depth on this team maybe isn't quite. And you would expect that from this size of a school district.
Yeah, I mean, this is comparative to, let's see, Is Cullom 600? Is that what it said?
600 population, yep.
So 600 here in town, and so they call it Tri-Point. It's kind of a convergence of 3 counties. I would imagine it makes up more than just Cullom, because by now towns of 600 in the state of Illinois have gotten ate up and absorbed by multiple school districts. So, 600 people, about the size of, let's say, about half the size of Hayworth. Hayworth's about 1,400.
Okay. Yeah, so that gives you some perspective. And I consider Hayworth a small school district.
Yep. Hayworth also known for their volleyball.
Yeah, we're playing them. I think we got a couple of weeks before we play them.
We do. And Saturday, there's a varsity tournament. Well, we got another game on Thursday night down in DeLand Weldon. And then varsity has a all-day tournament coming up in Lincoln on Saturday. So I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be in Peoria with my 9th grader who's running cross country. I'd be happy to send all this gear with you if you want to do 4 broadcasts in a row on Saturday.
I'm not for sure I'm going to be there yet. So we have family coming into town. I may not even be at that one.
Well, what we need to do is hand it off to the wives.
Oh, there you go.
Let the wives broadcast all day long.
Nice. That'd be a good change up.
No, actually it wouldn't, because the feedback would be that that's who they want from here on out, and we'd be out of a job.
We'd be fired.
Yeah.
No, but there is strategy like we were talking before. So these two, tonight's game and then Thursday night's game against DeLand Weldon, are the size of schools that Cornerstone's used to playing.
Yep.
So I see Cornerstone as getting to have some fun these 2 nights and playing competition that they're used to. Going into Saturday, though, they will see some tougher competition.
Saturday's going to be interesting because they play some very good volleyball teams, and I think it's after you play your first 3 or your first 2 matches, then it's kind of it's win or go home, isn't it, from there on out?
I don't remember. I read it and I forgot.
There's a lot of information there. But, so also when you're an athletic director and you're booking high school teams, typically you're going to book for 2 years. You're going to book the first year that you call a school and say, hey, do you want to play us? Yes, we'll play you. This year we'll play at your place. Next year we're going to play you at our place. And so it's a 2-year contract. They set both the dates at the time of booking. So there are going to be teams that we play this year that fall into that category as well. So again, a whole different talent pool than you see in a Tremont or a Woodland or somebody like that has the depth and are known for their volleyball teams. But nonetheless, we're talking like this is a walkthrough. This is not going to be a walkthrough, and we saw that in the JV match. I mean, the JV team came back to come within 9 or 7 points there at the end after trailing by as much as 13. So.
No, I don't see it as being a walkthrough either. But I see Cornerstone, just from what I know of them, coming off of 3 tough games. They'll be tough to beat tonight.
Yeah, I think Cornerstone has the depth and has the talent, and I think it's going to take one big kill by somebody up front, and it's going to be a whole different environment in here.
Well, if judging by the JV game, how Tri-Point midway through kind of gave up a little bit, you could just kind of see their demeanor drop.
Yep, body language, kind of shoulders sagged, and nobody was bent over for the serves anymore, and it was just,
so
it happens.
If that's any indication, like you're saying, we get a couple of big hits, and it could really start to roll from there.
So one thing that Coach Morin does do, and I think this is great, it's, as a parent, it's tough to, try to have your varsity player here before the JV game and then have to sit for 2.5 hours till the end of the night, and vice versa, for the JVers to have to stick around. But what it does, it fosters an environment, and Coach does this very well. He's got a culture going at school right now, a volleyball culture, and the girls have bought into it. And the younger girls learning from the older girls teaching and showing. And, this program has changed since Jeff Morin's taken over.
Oh, for sure. And I can't emphasize enough, that culture that you're talking about makes such a huge difference. And you can see it just in the way they're practicing, the way they interact with each other on and off the court, that you just have more fun when you can have that kind of confidence, and he does a great job of building that.
So confidence, and I think that is one of the keys, one of the biggest things that you can learn from competitive athletics in high school. It's just the confidence that you can do something when you think you cannot.
Yeah.
And whether you be running, whether you're playing on a volleyball team, whether you're going up for a kill, that one time that you do it, you prove to yourself so much, and that's a lifelong. We're getting real deep here. We really are.
This is philosophical.
We really
This is really territory we have no business in venturing into.
No, but you see what I'm saying. I mean, this is the whole purpose of why we do athletics and why athletics means so much. Just building that environment and learning to work together as a team, and also instill confidence in what you don't think you could do that you actually can.
Yeah, and starting the season off, Coach rolled out his philosophy for volleyball, and it's summed up in the acronym of SOUL, S-O-U-L, and I probably shouldn't even have brought it up because I don't even know what it means.
I don't either. You're gonna have to fill it in.
Okay, I'll come back to you on it between the sets on that one.
Right. We'll forget it. You know we will.
But whatever it stands for, it's good
SOUL
stuff.
is good. Yeah, that's great. Great acronym. We are listed at 150. So Chad Witt just told me that Tri-Point has an enrollment of 100. Cornerstone High School has an enrollment of 115. So Cornerstone's bigger than Tri-Point High School is.
Wow. You don't see that too often.
No, you don't. We've got about 2 minutes and 20 seconds here till the start of.
So Chad Witt is keeping an eye on us. He's probably looking up what soul means right now. If he could text that to us, we could announce it. I'm looking right now at my emails.
Chad's already Googling right now. We're trying to pull out the notes from our parent meeting. And what's going to happen, too, is if we don't now say it, I will get an email from Coach Morin this week.
I'm finding
which
it.
will
I will find it. I'm getting close.
Summarize it.
I'm getting close.
Oh, we could just be really random and just yell down, "Hey, Coach, what does soul mean?" I could see the look on his face like, what?
Yeah.
Let's go through while you're looking there, I'm going to go down the varsity roster here. So all players present and accounted for tonight. We're going to start off number 4, Alexis Hitteman. Number 5, Anna Hancock. 6 is her sister, Kate Hancock. 7, Lauren Unruh. 8 is Adrian Gary. 9, Haley Webb. 10, Carson Witt. 28 is Olivia Hitteman. 12, Callista Hammer. 13, Grace Masters. 14, Janani Damarajan. 15, Olivia Smith. And 16, Jess Halverson. Starters for tonight will be Hancock, Unruh, Webb, Witt, Hitteman, and Smith. And Damarajan will sub in right at the beginning of the game as the libero for Smith and find her place in the back row. So I can't say enough about Janani. Oh, did you find it?
I did.
Okay.
So the S in SOUL stands for selflessness,
Okay.
putting individual needs aside for the good of the team. The O is going to stand for owning your role, fulfilling your role by learning it thoroughly and by consistently giving 100%. And the U is going to stand for unity of purpose. And the L is
Lemon bars.
What's that?
Lemon bars?
Lemon bar. L is for lemon bars. That's the treat at the end of the game? No, it's not. The L is larger purpose, contributing to the wider community in a lasting and significant way. So we see sports at Cornerstone especially as just another way of growing and developing these student athletes into all that they can be both on and off the court. It's not just about winning. We do like winning, and that's part of life is giving it your all.
And it's great to it's great to see exactly what he's trying to teach come to fruition, and these girls are buying into it. And when they buy into it, that's when you become a successful team. You know, every girl is learning their role. Not everybody can be the greatest at every position, so he tailors you to what you're going to play out on the court. And the girls have bought into it, and you don't hear the complaining, oh, you're pulling me out, and I don't want to come out. No, the girls know their roles, and they accept it, and they move forward. Yeah. I think we're going to do starting lineups here, actually, tonight.
Looks like it. And here comes the starting lineup for the Cyclones.
All right, here we go. Starting lineups for the Cyclones. So number 5, Anna Hancock, will be number 1. And then you've got Lauren Unruh coming out. Haley Webb also starting tonight. Carson Witt. Double duty again tonight. Olivia Smith. And Olivia Hitteman. And Damarajan actually getting called as the starter tonight. So explain to me how that works, because they typically, even though she does start, she can't. I don't know how. Yeah.
I think that was a mix-up on the starting lineup. Just the person that was announcing it.
Okay.
They should have announced Olivia Hitteman first, and then the libero coming in after that. Instructions from the daughter.
Instructions for the daughter.
Yeah, so they just should have announced Olivia Hitteman and then Jenny Damarajan as the libero coming in at the end. They just got that out of order.
So again, Jenny, the libero, she's fantastic back in the back row. She's a machine. She can move from right to left, plays forward and back real well, and really anything that's hit within 5, 6, 8 feet of her, it's automatically going up to the front row. She's one of the best out there.
Yeah, her serve receive is phenomenal. She gets to some of those serves that you're like, wow, how did she get under that? And some of the hits that the other team can put on, she does the same thing for those. And she not just gets under them, but she can actually serve it up into a nice pass to the setter then.
And then you've got Anna Hancock back in the back row. And again, I've only got to watch Kate Hancock up to this year, but Anna Hancock as good, if not even a little better than Kate. And she's such a consistent server back there, and then just such a great outside hitter as well.
Yeah, Anna's always been a very consistent server. And don't underestimate her. She looks a little shorter than Kate, but she gets set up on the outside, and she hits some screamers.
These girls, and coaches worked with them enough, and it's not about height of how high you jump. That can be advantageous. It's about the timing and the trajectory of your hand when it makes contact with the ball. And some of these shorter girls, like a Anna Hancock, can still put some steam on that ball and hit it very incredibly precise, even though they can't get up in the air quite like Olivia Smith can.
Yeah, it comes down to timing, and Anna has great timing. She's able to get outside, get set up, and her approach to the ball, she just times it perfectly.
And then up in the front row, Lauren Unruh. And this team seems to ebb and flow how Lauren goes. And if she's on, it seems the whole team is on.
Yeah, when she gets pumped up, it brings everybody right with her. And that's something I've seen from her this year, where she has really stepped up and become the leader of this team. Her confidence has grown, and she's having fun out there. And when she's having fun, the team's having fun.
Yep, tonight would be a good night to have a lot of fun, let me tell you. Getting set for the varsity match here. 0-0 in set number 1, and they're going to walk around and potentially do the full walk-around little wavy wave thing that they do. I'm guessing it will look awkward, and they'll stop after about 3 steps, but we're about to see. The officials back there, everybody's kind of looking like, do we do it now? Is this going to be weird?
The girls back here doing a little dance.
It's like the junior high boys and girls dance with two people on different sides. So here we go. And we're going to come up and, about 3 or 4 feet, and they're just going to, walk to it. So little wavy wave thing, not successful. I still think we should just reach over and tap hands, but I don't matter in this world. So
I think the girls had more fun giving Coach some elbow bumps there.
All right, getting set here for the varsity match, the second of our 2 matches this evening. And we'll see who is going to serve first. One official pointing one way, the other one pointed the other. And then they went back to the to the bench.
And then they forgot who won the coin flip.
That is a killer scores table. We really need something like that.
That is nice.
Cornerstone.
We need somebody to donate a couple of LED screens.
Yeah. Just waiting for a big basketball to crash into it, though, during basketball season. And
yeah, how resilient are those screens?
Not basketball resilient.
Yeah.
So we're still chatting a little bit. It still fascinates me how much back and forth before a match actually starts these officials do. And then they go out there and then they look at everybody and make sure everybody's hair's up where it needs to be. And so we did learn something, that there is yellow cards and red cards in volleyball. Something new I didn't even know, which is not shocking by any stretch of the imagination. But, yeah, you can get a yellow card and a red card in volleyball.
Yeah, I didn't know of a yellow card except for last week. One of the girls got a yellow card for having an ankle bracelet on. Not sure how that works. But I didn't know that there's a red card, and I don't even know what actually the ramifications are of getting a yellow or a red card.
I don't know if yellow just means you have to get warned. I don't know. We'll see. Here goes Tri-Point, back to serve, back row, Anna Hancock. Up now to Hitteman, and a great serve. And so is Hitteman wearing, she normally wears 28. Is she wearing 11 tonight?
Oh, that is different.
She is wearing 11. That's what threw me off there. So anyway, point to the Cyclones.
And Lauren Unruh just kind of nonchalantly tipped that one over right into the big hole in the middle of the court.
Hey, it doesn't have to look fancy. Just get it over and get it down.
It works.
Anna Hancock back. More discussions at the table now. Both coaches now coming over. The official coming over to
Laura Witt, right in the middle of all this controversy. Once again, she finds controversy.
She does, and if she doesn't like something, she makes the whole game stop.
Not the first time we've seen that.
Anna Hancock, nice serve, back to the back row. This one going the wrong way. Has to come over, and it does. Hancock again with it. Up to Hitteman, back set now, Unruh. That could have been called. It really could have been.
She dunked that one.
Yep. And she gets away with it, and a point to the Cyclones. Now up 2-0 here. Set number 1. Hancock back with it again. Another nice serve by Anna. That was pretty. Back up to Libero. Just has to get it over, and a nice block by Lauren Unruh.
And you kind of get the feel already with the first 3 points of the game that this one could be a runaway game.
Yep. And Hancock definitely capable of putting together a nice set of serves here. Doesn't have to do anything fancy, just get it in play. She does. This one off the ceiling, going to be hard to play. And that one's going to go into the net. Cyclones now up 4-0.
And Anna is charged up. All 4 of her serves so far have just been laser beams across the net.
That one's
the same.
Yeah. Going backwards. This one looks like it could make it across. It does. Hancock up to Hitteman. Quickly now. Back set over to, that's a double hit if you've ever seen one. Back row. Played nicely here by Tri-Point. And Unruh up with it and a block. And she knew it right away and just kind of turned around and walked away from it.
Well, she just put that one straight down.
Yeah.
She got up high enough that she just put it straight down. She knew it wasn't going to come back over.
And a quick timeout here by Tri-Point as Cornerstone has went out on a 5-0 run. And, again, we kind of had that feel watching them during the warm-ups that there were some weaknesses that Cornerstone might try to exploit tonight.
Yeah, and I'm not sure. I haven't really looked at the other team to see what's going on. They only have one senior. I haven't seen much of her yet, so we'll just have to see. Lauren Unruh up at the net just looks like she's in charge. She does not look worried at all. I can see her probably really getting charged up here and seeing some big hits.
So Laura Witt just said, "Glad I have that card." It started the game with 2 yellow cards.
She got 2 yellow cards. How does somebody at the score table get a yellow card?
Well, I just asked her. She started the game with 2 yellow cards, so I'm curious to see what she says.
Troublemaker.
And Mark Heil is right now, he just texted me, he's at 35,000 feet watching the game.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So we're up in the stratosphere, man.
Happy travels, Mark.
Heading down south for a few here. 5-0. Varsity leads here in set number 1. Anna Hancock back. Girls on both sides had the wrong jersey number than was in the book. So that's what the yellow cards were from.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So that would have been Miss Hitteman, who I was talking about earlier, probably was listed as number 28. And I'm not sure what the discussion there was. Why?
They're concerned about these antennas not being straight up and down,
well,
it looks like to me.
But why would they call Anna Hancock up? Is she a team captain?
I think she is,
okay,
yeah.
All right. So the official probably was trying to clarify what was going on, and they'll talk to the captain as well as the coach. So Anna Hancock back here. Here we go. 5-0. Hancock, back row. Up in the air by Tri-Point. Reaching back, has to get it deep across. They do. Hancock with it. Damarajan, far side to Jess Halverson. Halverson gets it over. 3 to Tri-Point, have to tip it. They do. Witt. And that one just a miscommunication. And a side out to the Chargers.
Yeah, and that's what you don't want to have happen on a game that you start to run away with. You start to lower your level of expectation.
Yep. Callista Hammer into the game now for the Cyclones. Damarajan with it. Up in the air. Hitteman. Far side, Halverson, and that one just goes out of bounds both ways on the other side of the pole and out of bounds deep.
Yep.
5-2. And they're bringing out the second volleyball. We've seen lots of them go up into that stage area.
And this is the lone senior from Tri-Point serving here, number 12.
Nice serve by her. Hitteman up to, or Halverson up to Hitteman, and then a nice reach back and a kill and a point back to the Cyclones. Livia Smith now into the game for Lauren Unruh. 6-2, Cyclones up. Damarajan back to serve. Nice serve by Jenny. Up to the front row. Far side now, just tipped over. What a block by Carson Witt. They've got to get it over. Not going to happen. And Carson Witt showing that she can jump with the best of them as well.
Yeah, she got up good and aggressive on that one. She saw that was going to come right at the net, and she was able to get to it.
Small little timeout here to make sure shoes are laced up. And Damarajan now up 7-2, 5-point Cyclone lead. Great serve out the back. And Jenny just with a laser beam.
She is rearing back on this one. She's got some steam on her serve tonight.
8-2, 6-point Cyclone lead. Jenny, another great serve. Back to the back row, up to the middle. Back row has to reach it across, and what a great save by Hitteman. This one, though, up in the air, and Carson Witt saying, how did I possibly hit it that hard?
Yeah, that was a great save by Hitteman, a one-hander. It was right at the line. She just stuck her hand out and brought it. That was a great pass, really, from her.
It was. Back row, Hammer, far side, Jess Halverson, back row. Dug out here, has to come over by Tri-Point. That one just grazes. And this is where coach is going to get mad, because when you get lulled into that sense of sense of urgency is gone, you know, you make stupid mistakes like that. This one out of bounds. I shouldn't say stupid mistakes. It's just avoidable mistakes.
Yeah, they're taking their eye off the ball, lackadaisical. And he just shook his head at it.
Yeah. Yep.
He didn't really have to say anything. He just looked at him, shook his head, and they knew exactly what happened.
Kate Hancock into the game now for Hitteman, as well as Adrian Gary for Carson Witt, giving them a breather. And Gary's serve into the net, side out, over to Tri-Point, and it's 9-5 now. 4-point Cyclone lead, set number 1 here in the varsity match. JV already winners tonight. Back row, and that one didn't come off Halverson's arm very well.
No, I think she wished she would have just moved over on that one. Actually, that was maybe going to go out of bounds. She had to reach up high enough.
Back row, Damarajan. Up to Gary, reaches back, Hancock with it, and an interesting turn there as well that they didn't call. It's almost like she palms the ball and turns it sideways, but hey, if they're going to let it go, keep doing it till they call it.
She had her hand up there long enough, and it just kind of rolled off the left side of her hand.
Anna Hancock back in for Hammer. This one returned, far side. Tri-Point just tips it over, and that one out of bounds, and will be a point over to Tri-Point.
Smith and Hancock got up for a block on that one, just weren't able to get a good, solid block on it. And
they need to be just a little bit closer to the net.
Yeah.
The libero back to serve, Damarajan with it. Up to Gary, has to go across. Damarajan does get it across. Tri-Point now loading up, firing into the net, and doesn't matter. Olivia Smith would have been there, and a side out back to Cyclones, now up 11-7. Here comes Lauren Unruh. Damarajan getting a break here. Webb into the game as well.
Smith serves it. Good serve.
This one's got to get
Now
across.
it's
Not going to happen.
Back.
And it seems like unless they dig out unless they get it up in the air after the serve, it's not going to come back over. Like right here, they got it up in the air, and this one can make it back over. Tipped, dug out nicely, played well by Hancock, but just a little too far for her out of the reach, and it will be a side over. But when that back row doesn't get it up in the air for Tri-Point, then it just seems to fall apart.
Yeah, then they're scrambling, and it's going to be tough to bring it back.
Another nice serve, Anna Hancock with it. Up to Webb, far side, back to Anna again. This one returned, Damarajan up in the air. Unruh with it, tips it back over. What a great volley here by the Cyclones. Up in the air, Gary, Damarajan, Anna Hancock reaches back, fires to the back row. Great volley between the two here going on. Reaches into the net, and Lauren Unruh was there as well. So, again, the front line for Cornerstone, every time that ball comes up to their front row, they're up there meeting them.
Yeah, and you have to wonder what effect does that take on the other team when Lauren Unruh gets up and over that net, and the ball goes into the net.
Yeah,
there's probably a good chance there is a little intimidation factor going on.
And Olivia Hitteman now back into the game, as well as Carson Witt for Callista Hammer and Adrian Gary.
Had a good volley on that one.
Yeah, it was.
The crowd
nice
started
plays.
to get in on it.
Olivia Hitteman, back row, fires across. That one on the line, and a point to the Cyclones. Opposing coach was trying to point that one out of bounds, but
he's trying to help the call on that one.
14-8, 6-point Cyclone advantage here, set number 1. Hitteman, far side, back row. They've got to get it up here in 3. Just a little tip over, dug out nicely by Hitteman. Damarajan now, up to the front, Anna Hancock. That would have went out of bounds, but they returned it. Up and over, Damarajan digs it out. Hitteman now, setting up far side, Anna Hancock. Again, same place. Another nice volley. Back row, Damarajan reaches for it. Out of bounds. And Cornerstone's going to side that one out. And again, the points that Tri-Point's getting, they're hitting deep. And Cornerstone is kind of all sucked up to the front half of the court.
Yeah, they're getting sucked into the front. Somebody, at least one or two, needs to stay back deep. And I think Coach is going to get that figured out here. The other thing that I'm seeing is we're setting it up to the same player. We need to switch it up a little bit on the front.
Yep, I agree. Gary now up to Hitteman. Witt just has to get it across. She does. Damarajan digs it out. Hitteman again. Backside, Witt. What are they going to call?
2 hits. Double hit.
On Hitteman.
Hitteman setting that.
10-14. Cyclones up by 4. Tri-point, dug out, Hitteman up in the air. Witt, far across, back row.
Oh, good
nice
hit.
Tipped over.
Out of bounds.
Okay. Substitutions into the game for both teams here. And we've got Jess Halverson coming into the game here for Haley Webb. Anna Hancock, who had the role of serves at the beginning of this set. She rattled off 6 straight. Back to serve again. 15-10, 5-point Cyclone lead here in set number 1. Hancock, nice serve. Her serves are pretty tonight.
Yeah, they are.
Has to go over. It does. Back row. Anna Hancock with it. Halverson getting set up. And they're going to call Hitteman again on that. So it's funny that they've let so many obvious ones go over and not call it, but then these sets that I don't see it, they're calling them.
I'm not seeing it either. I mean, Hitteman has been known to kind of get into that mode a little bit, but I'm not seeing it tonight.
Halverson back up to Hitteman, over to Witt. Witt just does get it across. Tri-point now, setting up, loading. Fire, back row, out of bounds. And a point to the Cyclones, now 16-11. Still a 5-point Cyclone advantage. Damarajan will be back to serve for Cornerstone as typical substitution here. Lauren Unruh taking a seat for Olivia Smith. Tri-point, gets it over. This one up
great
in the air.
save. Oh! Callista Hammer put a one-hander out there, and she actually got a good hand on it, up in the air. Gave us a good chance to get it back over, just couldn't quite do it.
Back row, serve dug out by Halverson. Olivia Smith now. Not sure quite what that was, but just kind of can't seem to get in a groove. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you're right. There's a couple of times where I thought that setter should have just set to our big hitters, and we haven't seen that yet tonight.
Not
it's like
yet.
they're avoiding doing so. Maybe that's a plan.
It needs to
don't
come.
know.
We are definitely out of sync. Like on that one, Olivia Smith set that ball back to Jess, and that's not typical.
Right. Kate Hancock into the game as well as Callista Hammer. This one going the wrong way for Tri-point. Back up to the middle, has to go over, not going to happen. And a point quickly to Cornerstone, now 18-12, up by 6.
I think part of it is Tri-point's not really getting the ball back very often to us.
Right, and when they do, it's deep in the back row. That one should have been called, wasn't. Returned back row, and Adrian Gary there just kind of got caught off guard as that one came in at head level.
Yeah, went through her hands on that one. Like you said, it caught her off guard. She wasn't able to get set up quick enough.
18-13. Cyclones up by 5. That one grazes the net. A nice serve. And again,
Damarajan actually put a decent pass.
She did. And then nobody seemed to want it right there. And Olivia Smith, I saw her step back and kind of put her hand up a little bit. And I see what she's saying. If it's between two of them, you want your setter to dig that out and give the opportunity for the hitter to get it across. And you know, again, it's just one of those things where they're not in sync. They're winning because they're more talented right now, but they're just out of sync.
They are, and that was a good pass from Damarajan. The setter just needs to have her eye on the ball, ready to get under that one, and it just didn't happen on that series.
Quick timeout by Coach Morin. Side out, 18-14, 4-point Cyclone advantage. Tri-point back with it to serve. Nice serve by number 8. Up to the front row, Gary. Far back, Hammer had to get it across. She does. Back up to the front row, set backwards. Awkward set. This one reaching across. Hancock with it. Hammer over to Halverson. Halverson, if it hits that pole, is it out of bounds?
Can't hit the pole.
Okay.
If it hits a pole, it's out.
All right, so out of bounds, and it's now a 3-point game. And the other official's coming over. Think she's ready to go home. She's asking permission to.
I'm hungry. I haven't eaten yet.
Neither have I. I feel your pain, official, but we've got one more set. I wasn't going to comment on that on the air. It's interesting.
It does the trick.
It's a big.
It's blowing right on me.
It's a big boom whacker, is what it is.
Yeah, it's a little chilly up here, actually.
18-14. That one hard off the ceiling. And now 18-15. Actually, it should be 18-16.
And I'm guessing Coach is close to calling a timeout.
Yeah, again here. As Tri-Point on a little bit of a run here on senior night. Damarajan out the back, and that will do it. There will be a timeout here. Let's see. He's not going to do it. I can see his frustration.
He is. I'm surprised he didn't call one.
18-16, dugout up in the air.
There
Tipped over. There we go. Okay, so we're back into a little bit of a groove here. Back to the back row. Gary with it up in the air. What are you possibly going to say?
So that somebody went under the net.
That was number 15. They're going to call Olivia Smith. So Adrian Gary here going to take a breather as Carson Witt comes back into the game. And that's for defense. 1 point game now for the Cyclones. Back row, up in the air, Hammer. Over to Witt. This one has to go across to Damarajan. And again, Damarajan should be making that third hit. Far back row out of bounds. And Coach Morin saying, finally, let us serve here a little.
Yeah, side out here to Cornerstone. And that thing, who was serving on for Tri-Point? I think that was number 12. And
she was fantastic.
She was on. Halverson with the serve.
Tipped around. And they're going to call 2 hits on that set as well. And, yeah, he didn't blow his whistle very loud. Okay, so they're going to say that set on the serve by Tri-Point was 2 hits. And Cornerstone continued to play, so it really doesn't matter. 19-18. Should be 2018 now.
So the whistle just wasn't loud enough. The Cornerstone didn't even know it was a whistle dead ball.
Yep, 2018. Cyclones now up by 2 here in set number 1. This has kind of gotten out of control here a little bit for the Cyclones. So we got Halverson back now to serve. Nice serve by Jess. Back row, number 8, has to get it up. She does, and that forces their front row. Again, if you're number 5, I'm not reaching back like that to hit it. I'm just trying to get it over the net. And that's going to force a Tri-Point timeout.
Yeah, and you got 2 blockers right in front of her, and I'm sure she knew that. She didn't get set up on the ball real well.
Okay, so it was 20-18. It's now 21-17. I'm not sure where that point went because I believe the 18 was correct. But right now they're showing a 4-point Cornerstone lead here in set number 1.
I'm wondering if they got a little out of sync whenever Tri-Point got called for that double hit.
Possibly.
They had given the point already to Tri-Point, and then they had to back it out.
If you're Coach Morin right now and you're saying to these girls, what are you saying right now?
I don't think they're playing to their potential right now. They're not getting in a rhythm, and they're kind of
sloppy.
They're sloppy.
Jess Halverson back with the serve. Another nice serve by Jess. This one near side going out of bounds. And nobody's wanting to dive into these bleachers. 22-17. Halverson needs 3 more.
And I can see her doing that. She can go on a run here.
Yep. Nice serve. Great. That's pretty. And a great block there by Olivia Smith. Has to get it back up and over. Damarajan up to Witt. Witt now. Far side set to Anna Hancock. That one's going to be 2 hits. Yep, by number 12. That one I saw. And look at number 2 on their bench saying, how was that 2 hits? I saw that. It was.
Yeah, I saw that one too. It got through her hands, and she actually was pretty noticeable.
23-17, 6-point Cyclone lead. 19 has to get it over. She does, and that one's going to be inbounds. And they're going to.
I don't know. I think there's a few inches beyond the back line.
All right. All right. Morin just turned around to Lauren Unruh and asked, was that in bounds or out of bounds?
And we're 1 point from finishing this one up, and that one goes out the back.
Another nice serve there. Halverson takes a seat, and into the game now, Haley Webb. The libero back for the Chargers to serve here. Serve to the back row. Damarajan up to Witt. Real short set over to Smith back up to Witt, back set. Kate Hancock rocks back and just loads up. But this one hit a little too high on the hands and goes out of bounds.
No, and I wanted that one to be the exclamation point.
I did too.
And I think she did too. She just didn't get on top of the ball.
Webb digs it out. That one hits the ceiling, though, and kind of takes a deflection. Goes out of bounds, and now it's 24-20. This game should not be this close.
No.
It really should not. Dug out by Webb. Witt. Anna Hancock fires back row, out of bounds. They're going to give it to her.
Yeah,
oh, my. All right. And the officials are going to talk about it here. That was out of bounds.
Yeah, I think this one's going to get overturned.
That was out of bounds. And I saw it from up here. We'll see what they say. And right now, that was the set winning point. Officials talked. Going back over. She's going over to talk to the opposing coach. We'll see what happens. So the scores have been reset to 0 with, that's it.
I think they are going to hold to that.
Wow. Okay, well, you know, it's one of those that I don't believe the side judge can overturn the judge that's on the podium. I think the podium judge has the final say. So that's going to be it. The first set is going to go to the Cyclones, and you know, it was. Let's just say it. It was not a pretty first set.
No,
at all.
That was sloppy on both sides.
Yeah, it was. And sometimes I think that you play to your competition, and there's not the fire that we've seen coming out of this varsity squad, and you just get a little more relaxed instead of charged up for the game. Because you don't see the big, intimidating, imposing players in warm-ups that we have in the last couple of games. And I think that's what maybe Morin is talking to right now. Say, listen, guys, that was a bowl of soup. You know, it was just a mess of a bunch of things.
Yeah, we need to see some more volleys coming back over. That really was a game of serve.
It was.
We didn't see, well.
And we served well.
We served well. I would say that they had several service errors, but yeah, Cornerstone served very well.
Yeah, and it was mistakes that happened both in the back row, in the middle of the court, and by our setters. Like you said, I didn't see, but that last hit that Olivia Smith hit was really the only time that one of our big hitters got the ball set to him.
Yeah, just out of sync and sloppy.
So here we go with set number 2. The Cyclones have won set number 1. And on a little bit of controversy, and rightly so, a bad call, but it happens. The officials are humans too. You know,
I don't think it would have changed the outcome of the game.
I don't either.
But you don't like to end on a sour note.
And good for the coach to fight for it a little bit. I mean, obviously you're standing right there. He was 8 feet from it and saw it clear as day. So sometimes you get them for you. Sometimes they go against you. But regardless, here we go. So in the game right now, we've got Hitteman. We've got Olivia Smith. You've got Haley Webb, Carson Witt, Lauren Unruh, and Anna Hancock. And Olivia Smith comes out in typical fashion, takes a seat, and Jenny Damarajan in. Hitteman, back row. We'll see if we can't clean this one up a little bit. That one's going to fall to the ground as it hit the ceiling, and this ceiling is not a good ceiling for conducive for balls to hit.
No, and that was a great serve from Olivia Hitteman, and they just weren't able to handle it. They actually hit it straight up to the ceiling.
And that one.
He's going to call that one out.
Yeah, he didn't call that one. Notice that. He looked over at her, and she called it. So a side out over to Tri-Point.
He must be having trouble seeing that far right side.
Well, it's
because that was about where that other ball was at.
You're right.
Actually,
you're right.
Actually, the one that ended that game
probably
was
farther out. Damarajan up to the front, set up nicely. There you go, Unruh. Back up to the front row. They got to get it across. Tipped in the net, Unruh. Over to Witt's got to get it across. Witt does. Fires cross court. That one out of bounds. And a point over to Tri-Point. Tri-Point now has come out, and there's a little more fire under him right now. I think Coach said, guys, it's senior night. We can beat these guys. Let's go out and do it. So they're going to try for it here. Webb digs it out. That one out of bounds. And just a hard dig there by Webb, who had to go down on her knees to get it. And goes out of bounds for the Cyclones. They're down 3-1 now.
Yeah, and the Tri-Point players there between sets where it was getting the student body into this game.
Damarajan, Hitteman. Over to Witt. Witt has to reach back and awkwardly hit that one. And that's exactly what Coach is saying right now. Get your hand over the top of that and hit it. But she was a little bit out of position for where that was set. 4-1. This one into the net. And thankfully a side out here goes back to the Cyclones. Into the game, Jess Halverson. And she'll be back to serve here for Cornerstone.
So a service error there for Tri-Point.
Take it back. Anna Hancock back to serve. Hancock grazes the net. Libero gets it up to the front. Have to get it over. They do in 3. Tipped up in the air by Witt. Hitteman now. Near side over to Halverson. Halverson just kind of reaches over and nudges it. They've got to get it over in 3. Halverson. Back up to Hitteman. Back set. Unreal!
Oh, she unloaded.
There you
Yeah,
go.
now we're on.
There you go.
Game on. Lauren reached back and hammered that one.
And I think if that's the fired up that we need to see. And I don't know what's missing out of our first sets on both the JV and varsity. And he didn't call that. He waited for her too. Out of bounds. 5-3. Tri-Point with a 2-point lead here. Callista Hammer into the game for Anna Hancock. And I want to see Unruh get a couple more hits here. Back row, Damarajan. Up to Hitteman. Far side over here to Smith, or excuse me, Halverson. Reaches and fires up in the air. Not going to happen. And Jess Halverson, again, nothing hard, but just hits it in the right spot.
Yeah, and that was a decent hit. It wasn't as hard as she can hit.
Yep.
And now we got Lauren Unruh serving, and we need to capitalize on that energy from that hit that she had.
And Unruh comes out, and she just kind of walked right over to the bench. I think she's frustrated there at herself. Back row, Hammer with it. Halverson, or excuse me, Hitteman over to Witt, and that one's just out of bounds. So Cyclones here digging a little bit of hole. They're going to be down 8-4 here. Serve up in the air. Hitteman, quick little serve over. Back row, Damarajan. Hitteman, near side, Halverson reaches back, fires, and a pretty hit by Jess Halverson.
So Halverson's starting to find her rhythm. She hit that one harder than the last one, and I knew that one was not going to come back.
But the sets are a little more on target, too.
That one was. She was able to set up underneath that, get a good approach, and her timing was perfect.
Kate Hancock coming in for Olivia Hitteman. And nice serve by Adrian Gary. This one going the wrong way, out of bounds. And it's going to be 7-6.
And we're starting to feel the momentum change here.
1 point, Tri-Point advantage here in set number 2. Cornerstone leads 1-0 here in the varsity match. Adrian Gary back to serve. Serve number 2. Nice serve by Gary. That one on the line! And a point. No argument from the coach on that one.
No. Great serve. She put it about 3 inches inside the back line.
Gary now tied it up, 7-all. Adrian reaches back. This one's going to be playable by Tri-Point. Up to the front. Far side. Reaches. Just tips it over. Dug's out by Damarajan. Gary now. Short tip. Up to the front row. Blocked nicely. Back up to the front. Halverson has to get it across. She does. And Tri-Point's going to have to do the same. Kate Hancock. Up to Gary. Near side. Halverson reaches and fires. Back row. Played. Back row again. Gary. Olivia Smith. Kate Hancock just tips it. And Kate Hancock didn't really need to hit that, just kind of nudge it over, and did exactly that to give the Cyclones now a 1-point lead. And Tri-Point with the timeout.
That was pure athleticism from Kate on that one. She just got there. The set was just a little bit too low, and she had to hurry that one, but she made something out of it.
Yep, and again, if you look at Coach right now, he's talking to Adrian Gary, who's doing a great job. She's returning a lot of nice hits. But I think what he was saying right there is you're a little bit out of position, and those are Jenini's to get up in the air. And I think the reason he's saying that is because Jenini has that capability that nobody else out there has to direct that ball up to the setter. She's better than anybody out there. And I think that's what he was saying right there.
Yeah, I think you're right. Adrian's actually the setter right now, and she needs to be watching for that second hit on every one, and she's kind of getting in the middle of the first hit.
8-7. Gary back to serve here. Nice serve by Adrian. This one going a little bit long, though, and will be out of bounds. And I love how the official is now taking his time to call those out of bounds and looking over to help.
He's a little gun shy.
Yep. Number 8 back to serve. All tied up here in set number 2. 8-8. On senior night for Tri-Point. We're going to try to spoil it. Dug out by Hammer. Up to Gary. Far side. Hancock just reaches over. Does get it over. Playable by Tri-Point. Far side. Fires up in the air. And they're going to... They're going to say Olivia Smith was in the net. And Olivia Smith says there was no way. I wasn't even in the net.
Well, the net didn't move. She must have went over the center line.
9-8. Tri-Point's going to get that point. Back to serve again. Far side. And that one's Halverson up in the air. And Jess tried to get it up to Gary. It went to the middle of the court. Nobody was there. And a 2-point lead now for Tri-Point. They're not going to go away quietly. This one grazes the net. Hammer with it. Up to Gary, who just sets it. Tips over by Olivia Smith. And a great tip by Olivia Smith, who has a little bit of a... She's got a little bit of fire in her right now.
Yeah, she does. We need to have her get her hands on a block. That's what she
do.
Gets charged up about.
Yep. Halverson back with it to serve. This one just grazes the net and drops over. And a lucky one there for Jess.
Good serve from Jess. I like it when it hits the top of the net and just trickles over. Not much the defense can do on that one.
10-10. All evened up. Halverson again. Back row. Up to the front. Right on the edge. Hancock reaches over. Played by Tri-Point. Fires across. This one going to go off Gary's out of bounds. And
that was a head hitting the floor on that one.
Yeah, I heard a big thump. And
so she actually hit that. She spiked the ball. When she came down, she lost her footing, and her head actually hit the floor.
So she said she's okay. That point's going to count for Tri-Point. I don't know if she knows which way is up right now, but she's... And the official's going to come out and talk to her. Hold up some fingers. Give her some smelling salt. She was walking around there just a little bit woozy. I would too, man, if I cracked my head on this floor.
I think she was happy with the result, so she didn't want to show any weakness after that.
So you've got coach, official, and athletic trainer out there talking to her right now. She's backing up. I don't know if that's intentional or not. They're going to keep her in the game.
She's saying, I'm fine.
Yep. Hope she's all right. And seems to be.
I felt that one in the bleachers.
I did too. I mean, I kind of drew my attention away from the end of the play.
She's fist pumping. She says, I am more than okay.
I'm good. You're going to feel that in the morning, though, kid.
Yeah.
So Morin's back there now saying something to the officials. This is just your non-traditional game.
It's unorthodox.
It is. It's crazy. Why are we serving? Why are we serving?
I don't know. We should not be serving.
How are we?
That was their point.
Replay?
Oh.
Okay. All right. They gave it a replay. I thought it was just her saying he did a nice job. Okay, so they're replaying that point because I think everybody got distracted with the thump on the ground. But didn't they serve that point to begin with?
No, Jess was serving.
All right. 11-10, regardless. That one's going to go out of bounds. Tri-Point's going to get the point, 11-11, and they're going to be serving here. Wow.
Let's play some volleyball now.
No kidding. Haley Webb into the game for the Cyclones. So you got Smith, Webb, Gary, both Hancocks, and Damarajan. Damarajan now Up to Gary. Short set. Livia Smith drops it down. That's what you want to see every single time.
Yeah, now we're getting something going.
Pass the ball up to the center and let your big girls do the work. And in comes, speaking of, Lauren Unruh. I would love to see her get another hard kill here.
Yeah, we're going to see it.
Great serve by Damarajan.
She's
going
on.
off it.
Damarajan is on her serve tonight.
She's just consistent.
Yeah.
She's so consistent.
She not only can serve, receive, dig those big kills, but she is a great server, and that one was going right for the line.
She went for that back row again. Blocked. Tipped up in the air.
Good
and
reaction
over.
from Kate. Oh, and they're going to call her for lefting. That coach does not like that one, and I don't either.
Oh, boy.
That was just a good reaction from Kate Hancock on that.
Officials had to make up for that out-of-bounds call in set number one.
Yep,
so there you
right.
go. Now we're even. Back row. Webb with it. Gary, little bit out of bounds there, but Hancock reaches back.
Wow. She wanted all of that one.
She did. And again, her jump is just a little bit off. She's actually coming down when she hits that instead of hitting it at the top of her jump.
She got behind that one. She needed to be on top of it.
Back row. Out of bounds.
Yeah, that was out.
And 14-13. Cornerstone now up by 1. So Witt's going to come back into the game as well as Olivia Hitteman. Kate Hancock's going to take a break as well as Adrienne Gary. Hitteman back to serve. Short, tried to short serve it. And that's going to be a side out. And, you know, Morin, he told me after the game last time that he calls those once in a while because she can do it so well.
Yeah, she does. She does a great job at those.
She does. I would have liked to see her serve once and then do it. Back row. This one's up in the air, off the roof. And, again, these ribs on the roof, when you hit it hard like that, it's only about a 20-foot ceiling, hits the ribs, and then goes crazy. So 1 point lead now for Tri-Point at 15-14. And Grace Masters now into the game. In the back row for Cornerstone. And they're going right at Grace. Beautiful one-arm save. Quick tip by Hitteman back to the back row. Up in the air. This one's going to go out of bounds. And a point to the Cyclones. So Grace Masters reaches out with one arm and puts it in a position where Hitteman just kind of taps it over. Anna Hancock, back row. Great serve by Anna. Up in the air, they got to get it across. Damarajan, set up. Hitteman,
here it comes.
Back row.
Oh, they're going to call. Who are they calling in the net? They called Tri-Point in the net. That was a good hit by Lauren.
All right, because they pointed at us first, and I'm thinking, I was kind of watching that. All right, so Masters is going to take a seat here. Anna Hancock back into the game. The captain's going over to talk. And you've got the captain saying, no, we weren't in the net. But
I think the ball actually hit the net. And there's an
too.
ace from
What an
Anna.
Ace. Beautiful serve by Anna, and it was right in between the two Tri-Point players. And I think the other one thought they were going to get it. 17-15 now, 2-point Cyclone advantage. Anna back with it, same spot. Goes to the libero. This one is playable. They got to get it over. Anna Hancock up to Hitteman. Back set. Nice hit by Lauren Unruh. Thanks. A little vomit of a name there. Sorry. Unruh again fires across.
That was from Witt. Oh, no!
Holy cow.
So 2 good hits from Cornerstone, and Tri-Point answers.
So Lauren Unruh comes up, fires one across the court, dug out. Witt does the same thing, and then we're all up too close, and they hit it to the back row. 17-16, 1-point Cyclone advantage. Hitteman, near side. Halverson reaches across.
That's
that
not
one's going
coming.
off the ceiling.
Yeah.
Jess Halverson, she's consistent as well in where she hits it.
She's on it tonight.
Yeah, she is.
And Unruh is going to be on it. She actually hit a great hit. Tri-Point just answered that. I still like the energy, even though it was side out for them. And that's Unruh puts it in the corner.
And Lauren needed that one.
Yes, she did. So here we go. I'm saying we're going on a run. I'm going to go out on a limb right now.
A little more bounce in her step. 19-16. Here she goes. Back over. That one's an ace. 2 in a row now for Lauren Unruh.
Her timing on that one was perfect. So she jumped, and she hit it at the top of her jump, and it went straight down.
Beautiful graze right over the top of the net. See if she can do it again. This one, deep back row. They're going to let it go.
She got behind the ball on that one.
And she'll have a seat here for her scheduled break as Damarajan comes back into game. 3-point Cyclone advantage at 2017.
Unruh is favored. Oh, and
What
it turns
is
into soccer. That is fair ball.
Cow. Anna Hancock with it. We got to have this point.
So Damarajan turns it into a soccer game.
Holy cow. And we're going to get it. Are you kidding me?
Now we are having fun.
Jenny Damarajan reaches out with the right foot.
You can hit that with your foot.
Puts it over the net and in play. Yeah, you can do that. It's a goal. They count it as a goal. 21-17. 4-point Cyclone advantage here. Set number 2. This one, back row. Nice set by Gary, or served by Gary. Fired to the back row. Damarajan. Gary with it. Near side set. Come on. This is.
I didn't see that.
I didn't either.
I don't care. We're having fun now. We're rolling no matter what that outcome was.
21-18. Tri-Point now back with it to serve. Nice serve by Tri-Point. Dug up, down. What a nice dive by Halverson to try to make that ball playable. But just out of the reach, and she's going to be subbed out here for Grace Masters. Grace coming in for defensive purposes here. Grace had a very solid JV game, and Coach realized how on she was tonight, so getting the opportunity here to do some defensive work. Tri-Point down by 2. Back row going the wrong way. Masters with it. Has to get it back over, and that was just a great serve by Tri-Point.
Yeah, good effort to get that one back in play. It just didn't happen.
There's no reason why we should go to a third set, but it's 21-20 here. Coach Morin calls a timeout. And again, if you're watching this, I'm not telling you anything you haven't seen. This has been a unique game tonight. It's been full of a little bit of everything, but mainly, Jeremy, it's not been a pretty one for the varsity
No,
team.
to say the least, this has not been a typical game. Actually, we turned it into a soccer game here for a little bit.
Yep.
But I do like the energy that's flowing towards Cornerstone, even though the Tri-Point fan base is into it now.
And they're getting the team psyched up. So you got a little home court advantage here. Cyclone's got to respond. They're only up by 1 here.
They're definitely going to have to work for it. So it is senior night here.
Back to serve. Damarajan now. Up to Gary.
There it is.
Olivia Smith reaches over and puts one down. Played and returned here by Tri-Point. Back up in the air. Callista Hammer. Over to Gary. Back to Grace Masters, who reaches across and puts it up. This one back row out of bounds. And the Cyclones only need 3 more. And that's how you stymie that energy right there. Get a point, get the serve back, and the board just goes off. Power just went off on the scoreboard. And it was 22-20. And we're going to have a delay in the game. Yep, it's back. It's those scoreboard gremlins. We've got those at Cornerstone too. And Jess Albertson is going to be back. We're going to see if Jess can put away 3 points here. Halverson, nice serve. Back row. Could have been a basket. Not going to happen to get it back, and Cyclones there. Point 23-20.
Jess can go on a run here.
She can. Very consistent server. Jess Alverson looking to put this away. Grazed the net. What a pretty serve. Played nicely, though, by Tri-Point. Damarajan up to Gary. Gary, far side. Kate Hancock rocks, fires, blocked. Hancock gets it back in the air. And we should have hit that a third time. I don't know why we didn't.
Yeah, I don't know. The student section has definitely come alive. They're trying to keep their players in this game for senior night.
Point to Tri-Point, and their libero will be back to serve. 23-21, 2-point Cyclone edge here. Tri-Point trying to force a third set. Coming into the game is
Haley Webb
for Jess Halverson. Back row, Damarajan. Up to Gary, near side. Rocks, fires, Hammer does. This one played nicely. They have to get it across. Tri-Point does. Olivia Smith. Gary, back set. Kate Hancock just has to tip it over. A little bit of a volley here going on. Loads, fires, tips it across. Gary up in the air. Damarajan up to the front row. In too close to the net, but nobody there to pop it over.
That set just was off target, and there was a question of who was going to get that third hit. Just a miscommunication.
And all of a sudden, Tri-Point back within one again at 23-22. And a timeout on the court. So we just need 2 points. Close the chapter on tonight. Walk away from with a win and never look back at this one.
That's right. Put this one in the history books and leave it there.
Right.
Yeah, and this is what Coach was talking about last week, to not lose that intensity that you had against those 3 good teams last week. And you do kind of get a sense of we are playing down a little bit.
We are.
We're not playing to the level that we were last week.
I mean, you play to your competition at times, and that's when the other team is driving you. And that's what Coach doesn't want to see. He's calling in a substitution right now. So you've got Hitteman coming back into the game for Kate Hancock. Tri-Point to serve. They're trailing by 1 here. 23-22 here on senior night for Tri-Point. Cornerstone trying to stymie that. Damarajan up to Gary. Far side. Reaching across is Hitteman right into the blockers. And there was not a whole lot of mustard behind that one.
No, that was pretty anticlimactic.
Yep. Tied up now, 23-23. Tri-Point back with it again. That one up in the air by Smith. Gary tipping that one into the net. And Hammer, again, that was, I don't know why we're overcomplicating this.
Well, we're so out of sync right now, and Coach sees it. He's going to get Witt in there and see if he can bring some stability to this, but I'm not sure what's going on. We're just out of sync.
24-23 now. Tri-Point up by 1. Tri-Point trying to push this to a third set. Back to serve. Hammer with it. Up in the air. Witt. Short set.
There it is.
Olivia Smith puts it down. That's what we need to do each and every time.
That was a great set by Witt, and Olivia was set up for it, and that's what we need. Yeah, like you're saying, that's what we need. It's not complex.
Lauren Unruh now back into the game. Has some front muscle. Damarajan back to serve. Fires this one in the net. And an uncharacteristic service error for Jenny Damarajan.
And we're 1 point away from having to go to a third set here.
Tri-Point now up 25-24. And a miss serve. Drilled. She looked a little bit in pain there. Nobody was expecting that. And we're tied at 25. So
Tri-Point leaves the door open here, and Cornerstone, I'm thinking, is going to capitalize on this.
Hitteman has to have 2 points to win. That one out of bounds. And Morin looking over saying, what are we doing, guys? What are we doing?
Just put it in play is what he's saying.
26-25. Tri-Point back out on top. Again, once you get to 24 points tied up, it takes 2-point advantage to win. Tri-Point has to have a point here to force a game 3 or set 3. Serve. Damarajan up in the air. Webb. Witt has to get it over. She does. Nothing fancy. Just keep it in play here, girls.
Big block right here.
And a tip to the back row, and that's in play.
We're going to a third.
And we're going to a third set.
That might not be all bad. We need a solid win. That was just sloppy again.
Yeah. Good for the team, but I guarantee the girls all know what we're saying right now. They're just saying there's no reason why we lost that. This was ugly. This was sloppy. We're capable of so much more.
And we're going to have to fight for this one.
Yeah.
I mean, the fans are back into it.
Yep.
It gives Tri-Point some confidence that, hey, we can do this.
Yep. So let's answer this. What does Cornerstone have to do differently here in set number 3 just to completely change the complexion of this game.
Well, I like that Tri-Point was serving it right to Damarajan. She was getting good passes. Where we got out of sync is our sets were not where they needed to be. That setter has to be able to get under that ball and put a good set up to our hitters, and that just wasn't happening. Our hitters were in position to take that set, but the sets just were not there. So that's what Coach Morin's going to put in. We'll see what he does here, but he's going to have to mix that up on the setter.
Well, the setter seems to be trying to set out of deception. You know, you're facing one direction, trying to do a back set. I don't think we need to do it against this team.
We don't need anything fancy.
No, just set it up and let Olivia Smith, let Halverson, let Lauren Unruh, just let them hit it. And this team, Tri-Point's going to struggle with it all night long.
Yeah, I'd say you set it up to Halverson, Hancock, either one of the Hancocks. Actually, I think Anna's come out now. I'm not sure what's going on there. I will say that I have noticed that Lauren is favoring one of her ankles.
Okay, so I saw Lauren in the first set, and I didn't say anything. She was sitting quite a bit. She didn't come in her normal rotation.
Yep. So I think at this point, your hitter that you have, your go-to hitter's got to be Halverson. She is on. Give her a good set, and she's going to hammer it.
Yeah.
And I think Smith is due for some as well.
And Olivia Smith is clearly frustrated, was clearly frustrated towards the end of that second set, and, you know, got a couple of calls that probably should have went our way that didn't, and she had one that I knew she was fighting a little bit, and that was the one when she was in the net. And that's, you know, it's part of the game. We've had calls go both ways. You're never going to get an official that calls everything perfectly. It's not going to happen. We're all human. We all make the errors. But when they get frustrated like that, that's when you see other things start to collapse, and it affects other areas of their game. And your mentality, your mental status of trying to keep a positive attitude has to be there all game long because it affects how you play.
Yeah, and it is hard not to let it affect your play, but you have to get through it and go play it ball by ball. Serve by serve, work your way back into it.
So a night that was very weird, and Mark Heil just texted me from 35,000 feet and called it right. Said that you knew it was going to be a strange night when it starts with a volleyball game starts with 2 yellow cards. So, yeah, I didn't even know there was cards in volleyball. I don't know what this is about either.
I don't know. If
this goes anywhere, we'll have words, Amy Masters.
I'm getting some candid camera photos here.
Oh, Doug Kinzinger, the brother, just texted me what he said. Great game I'm watching. This is not a great game, Doug.
No,
this is far from a great game. I mean, this
might be the sloppiest game I've seen this year.
It's this year. It rivals game 1 of the season, set number 1, game 1 of the season.
But the highlight is the kick from Damarajan.
It was fantastic.
And it stayed in.
Yeah. All right, here we go, set number 3. Hoping to be on the road home, but we're not going to be that way tonight. You've got Witt, Grace Masters. You've got Lauren Unruh, Damarajan, Anna Hancock, and Olivia Hitteman in there.
Okay, so he has switched the lineup.
He is. He's putting in who he thinks right now is going to be the most solid, whose minds are all in it correctly, who have played well all night long, and we're going to see if this 6 can do it. So Tri-Point's going to be back to serve this one here, set number 3, 0-0, tied up at 1 set apiece. Tri-Point coming back in set 2 and beating us 27-25.
So our 2 middle hitters right now are Lauren Unruh and Carson Witt. We've got our setter with Olivia Hitteman. So let's see what we can put together here. We got an outside hitter.
Back row, Damarajan, Hitteman. Far side, Carson Witt loads up, fires back row. That's okay. Consistent. That's what we need to do. Back to the middle. They fire to the back row. Reach for it is Olivia Hitteman, who is just again, she's up a little bit too far, but she's thinking set.
Coach is saying, hey, if you're hitting that with your right arm and it's going towards that sideline, let it go.
Yep. Back row, Masters with it, up in the air, Damarajan. Witt fires across, back to the middle. Tri-Point now, up 1-0, tips it to the back. Damarajan with it, Hitteman. Unruh just taps it over. Nice dig by the libero, and they fire up and out of bounds, and point over to Cornerstone.
So that one could have been a big hit from Unruh. If that set would have been just a little higher, Unruh would have put that one down.
But again, everything very solid right there.
Yeah, we just need to dial it in.
Yep. Anna Hancock, back row. Great serve by Anna. This one playable. She's going to get the return. Quick set. Back set to Hitteman. Over to Witt. Witt fires across. And this happens when Carson gets a little bit tired. You know, again, small things. She's played in, this is her 5th set of the evening.
But that was a good series right there. That was a good pass, good
was.
set. She just got behind that ball.
Tri-Point up by 1, 2-1 now. Hitteman up in the air. This one's got to go across. Hammer now into the game. Does get it across. Playable up to the front. And they're going to call 2 hits on number 9. And upside out and point back to Cornerstone. 2-2 now.
Yeah, keep giving those opportunities, and those things are going to happen. Like you said, if you can just give them the opportunity.
Jenny,
great serve.
Yep, that was pretty. Had some steam on it, too. Back row, fired across. Damarajan digs it out. Hitteman, far side. Witt just tips it. 2 hits and down. And total different team has come out in set number 3.
Yeah, you can definitely feel it and see it.
A lot cleaner. Everything's just a lot cleaner here for the girls. 3-2. They're only up by 1. Long way to go here in set number 3. Trying to ice the server here, as they say. Little delay. Jenny, see how she responds.
No
Great
problem.
serve. Back row going the wrong way. Has to come over. Does. Let that one, nope. Up in the air. Witt with it. Going to hit the ceiling. And look at Hitteman get that over.
Good concentration from Hitteman on that one.
Front row, tip to the middle. Off Smith's hands. Got to go across. And a great effort there by Hammer to get that one back up to the net. And you're going to have those okay to happen once in a while, but great effort nonetheless.
It still looked good. I mean,
yeah,
they're in sync right now. They're doing everything right.
Tipped, and that was just a great short serve. Just a great short serve,
yep.
And a great effort by Jess Halverson to go after that one.
Nothing hurt there.
4-3, Tri-Point on top. This one set up to the net, into the net as she tries to short serve it again. And it'll be a side out, 4-4 now. Back to Carson Witt.
We're tied up. Let's see if Carson can give us a run here.
Witt, nice serve to the back row. That one on the line! And inbounds. 5-4. Cyclones now up by 1. And we'll see if Carson can't dial it back just a smidge.
She had some good top spin on that one.
She
brought
did.
it down fast.
Another nice serve. Return nicely here by Tri-Point. Up to the front, reaches, hits the back row. Damarajan up to Witt. Back set, over to Hitteman. Taps it across. Played here, have to come over. Into the net, and well played by the Cyclones. And again, everybody's just buckled down here in the 3rd set.
Another good combination, good pass, good set from Witt to Hitteman. And Hitteman had a decent hit on it.
She did. 6-4, 2-point lead here for the Cyclones. This one firing up to the front row. Have to get it across. They do. Witt with it. Up in the air. Damarajan. Hitteman now. Taps it across. Playable. Into the face.
So nothing fancy here.
No.
But
no.
we're getting a good pass, a good set. The hits aren't real hard, but they're working.
Yep. 7-4. Timeout.
Eventually get a good hard hit, but right now we just need consistency.
And I'm going to... Should be back live here. I don't think we lost it. We might have come close. 8-4 is where we are at. And a serve over to Tri-Point.
And we need a block right here.
Yep.
Nope.
And they're going to say 2 hits.
We'll take it. Well, I wondered why Olivia Smith wasn't getting up on that one, and she saw that double hit.
Witt with it now. Back row again. Tipped over, fired, blocked, and a great attempt to block right there by Olivia Smith. And she says, that's my fault.
Yeah.
She was up in the air. She saw it. Hey, they're not always going to get fed back into the face.
She knew exactly what she did. Her hands were a little farther apart than what they normally are, and it just came through.
Tri-Point now down by 4, 9-5. And we're having some connection issues here. And they're going to say a lift. Oh, okay. And they're going to say that was because she came down so low with it.
I was going to say, it looked good to me.
So we do have some connection issues here, folks. We apologize for that. And a nice hit by Olivia Smith. And she just immediately looked over at the official. Was that one okay? Can I do that? How about that? And Callista Hammer is going to get subbed down here for Anna Hancock, who comes in on that left side. Jess Halverson back to serve for the Cyclones. 10-6. Cyclones up by 4 here in set number 3. This one gets tipped over. Witt up in the air. Damarajan now going to have to get it up to front. Anna Hancock reaches back and fires. Tri-point returns it back up to Witt. Witt back set over to Halverson. I'm sorry, Hitteman. Hitteman gets it across. Up for the block. Dug out nicely by Witt. Damarajan now.
They called Witt on that one. So when she dug it out, she had her hands a little too low.
And again, I apologize for the feed if you're coming in and out, folks.
Masters with that. To Witt. To Smith. That one's going to come back over. Witt to Damarajan. This is going to hit him, and she goes long with it. Tri-point struggling to bring it back over. And they cannot.
So 4 hits, and that point's going to come over to Cyclones. That should be 12-7 now. And again, just getting into some internet issues here. I'm working on that, trying to get the stream a little bit clearer for you with a little less buffering.
So this is Smith serving. Tri-point gets it back over in 3. This is Masters to Witt. This is going to be Anna Hancock.
Tip back row, Witt now. Up. What a great save.
Great athletic move from
Olivia
Lauren
Smith up for a block. Unruh reaches back to the back row. Witt now with it up in the air. Near side. And that one down. Hitteman down. Oh, I wish we had instant replay. I really do.
So close.
And a great play by Olivia Smith there. Some nice hits up in the middle.
That was Lauren Unruh with an athletic move at the net.
Maybe that ankle's not bothering her as much as we thought.
No, she got up and after that one.
So that's out of bounds, and Olivia Hitteman now back to serve. 12-8 is the score.
And we need this serve. Just let's hit a safe serve. That one sails long.
It's Doug Rosenbaum. Oh. If you don't know who Doug Rosenbaum is, he's an NFL official. Doug Kinzinger has his desk. Just look at the chat on YouTube right now, folks. Back serve. Damarajan with it. Up to Hitteman. Fires Unruh and just out of bounds. Lauren Unruh was loaded up for that one, though. And I'd like to see that all night long, though. Those will fall.
Yeah, absolutely. Give her that one again, and it's going to fall.
12-10 into the net. So there's our point back. 13-10. Cyclones now up by 3. So back to serve Anna Hancock here. And Anna Hancock has had some very consistent serving tonight. Jess Halverson back into the game for Grace Masters. Hancock feeds to the back row.
Great serve from Anna.
She's been so consistent back there tonight. She has to return this one. Watched it off the back wall, and yeah. That kind of, I'm feeling like that funk's coming back a little bit here.
It is on that one, yeah.
Callista Hammer back into the game for Anna Hancock. 13-11, 2-point Cyclone advantage. Nice job here. Damarajan over to Halverson. Halverson feeds it over. Block! Great block by Unruh. Going up again. And another one. Tipped over by Witt. And they're going to say that tri-point in the net. Number 16, they're saying, I wasn't in the net. Of course you weren't. Nobody's ever in the net. 14-11, Damarajan back to serve again. Jenny, great serve. Just over the top. Reach back, kill into the net, trying just to smoke it past us.
And Smith was right there to handle it if it did come over, but that one was hit right into the net.
15-11. Damarajan back to serve. 4-point Cyclone lead. Back row.
Great serve.
Yep.
She is on.
Number 9 trying to get it over. Does just graze the top of the net. And Smith does fire it across on 2. Damarajan now. Hideman up in the air. Damarajan's got to get it across. She does. Going the wrong way. They're going to bring it back. Back to the back row. Damarajan up in the air. Hammer with it. Halverson just has to tip it over. Nice volley here. And a great kill by number 16, who went across her body to hit that one.
Yeah, that was just a good hit from 16, and she's charged up.
Yeah, it's that you hit your head that hard, too. You'd want to smack a ball.
She managed to keep her feet that time.
15-12. Cornerstone up by 3. Tri-point serving. Halverson up to Hideman. Far side now. Anna Hancock just reaches back. Sorry, Callista Hammer with that one. That one's going to drop. Nobody there in the front row.
That one was not pretty.
That wasn't pretty, but we got a point out of it. 16-12.
We got Carson Witt coming up to serve.
Witt, nice serve back to the back row. Up in the air. Nobody there, going the wrong way. We'll call that an ace.
So this is starting to pick up steam for Cornerstone.
17-12 now, 5-point. Biggest lead since set number 1. Carson Witt reaches back for it. Back row, up in the air, up into the net. And another nice point by Carson.
And this is taking the wind out of the sails for the student cheering section.
Yeah, that team, look at their body language. Everybody's hands on their hips now. Nobody's ready. See if Carson can do it again. 18-12, Cornerstone up by 6. This one up at the net, just has to get across. Olivia Smith, great block, 2 hits, and another point over to the Cyclones. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a timeout here by Tri-Point. 18-13, should be 19-12. Scoreboard says 18-13,
well,
regardless.
They called that a carry by Olivia Smith.
Yeah, I don't see that at all.
And now a miss hit there.
So 18-14.
So
Tri-Point now back with it again. Gee whiz. We can't seem to shake him. Damarajan up to Witt. Near side Smith. Smith reaches over. Dug out nicely by Tri-Point. Back up. Killed into the net. Second time here in this third set that she's hit it like that into the net. But a point to the Cyclones. 19-14. Cyclones now up by 5. Back into the game for Hammer is Anna Hancock. Halverson back with the serve. Nice serve by Halverson. Was that?
That went out.
I didn't see it. It was behind the official.
Yeah, that was a little beyond the back line. Halverson's been hitting very consistent from both at the net and from her serving. That one just went long.
Grace Masters now into the game for Halverson. Libero back to serve for Tri-Point. Masters up in the air. Witt has to reach back for it. Does hit him in. This one back up in the air, going out of bounds, wrong way. And again, wasn't pretty, but we got it across. 20-15 now. 5-point Cyclone lead in set number 3. Olivia Smith back to serve. Nice serve by Smith. Back row. Reaching across for it, number 5, out of bounds. And the Cyclones now up by 6. Smith back to serve again. Playable. Far side Tri-Point reaching for it. Dug out by Smith. Witt up in the air. Anna Hancock just has to reach back for it. Hits the ceiling. 15 with it again. Olivia Smith up in the air. Witt back set. Hit him in. This one playable. Has to go across. And it does. Unruh taps it over into the net. That's going to be a point back to Cornerstone. Sloppy, but it got it there.
Unorthodox.
Wow.
Unruh puts it back over and one and just surprised Tri-Point with that.
22-15. We need 3. Far side now back. Has to go over. It does. Dug out by Masters. Over to Libero. Going the wrong way. Up in the air. Hit him in with it. Cross court. Off the ceiling and down. How many times do I call off the ceiling and down? 8 points.
And that was unorthodox, but it worked again.
Olivia Smith rolling them off here. 23-15. 8-point Cyclone lead. Tri-Point. Reaching
And
back
there's a big
block. over the net. Anna Hancock off the ceiling. Lauren Unruh just tips it over. Played back into the net, and we're going to have match point.
So that was a big block by Unruh. Olivia Smith was right there too, but I think Unruh got a good hand on it.
Smith puts it in play. We'll see if we can finish this right here. Quick tip, and why not push it this far? Why not let it go?
So Unruh went up for the block, wasn't able to quite get in the position she wanted to, and it came over.
Side out over to Tri-Point. Tri-Point served back row. Damarajan up to the front. Witt. Unruh has to tap it over. Not going to get there. And Lauren's a little bit mad at herself right there. 25-16 now. Wait, 25-16. Yeah, 24-17. There you go.
We still got match point here. We just need to compose ourselves for 1 point.
No kidding. Here we go. Serve, back row. Masters up to Witt. Back set. Hit him in. Fires.
That's it.
Inbounds. That's the game. Wow.
That's what we needed to end on.
All right.
That was a good pass, good set, exclamation point.
Yep, fires to the back corner, puts it in, and that's how tonight ends. In 3 sets, Varsity comes out on top, winning the third set, 25-17. And Jeremy, I don't know quite how to describe that. I mean, we've got a better team than was portrayed tonight. We know that. But in that third set, the girls dug deep, came back out, and at least came out with a win tonight.
Yeah, they showed some great perseverance in the third set, but we made that much harder than it needed to be against that team. Our Cornerstone is a better team. You can see that just the way they were playing, but they did not play to their potential tonight.
Did you know that the Cornerstone team started playing at a little bit lesser level when Dave Wolf came into the building?
We should have known as soon as we saw. As soon as we gave him the microphone and he started talking, we should have known.
That was the end of it. Well, once again, both JV and Varsity victorious tonight from Tri-Point. Cullom, I think we're going to try to find our way home sometime this evening, and we're doing it under victories. Both teams now, JV and Varsity, now 2-3 on the season. We've got another game Thursday night, and then Varsity, a big tournament day on Saturday. So for Jeremy Masters, I'm Dan Kinzinger. Thanks for letting us bring this to you. It was interesting, to say the least.
It was. So DeLand Weldon Thursday night, are we live streaming? Or
we are.
There? Okay.
So we will be, DeLand Weldon said we can come in and stream. So we'll have that one as well for you on here. It will be better than this.
I'm sure it will be. I'm sure Coach Morin's going to make some changes. At least watch. I've heard he's going to be watching some film, so maybe that will help a little bit.
Well, at the end of the day, a victory is a victory. We don't have to look at this as a positive learning experience, but it was a victory nonetheless for both squads, and we needed that. Girls, it's hard to be 1-3 and have that confidence in yourself. We need to pick up some more victories. This one was sloppy, but we got it done. So, hey, congrats to the girls. Congrats to those final 6 that were out there and all that competed throughout the night. Tri-Point, sorry to ruin your senior night tonight, but there's times that it happens. So
that's what you get when you invite Cornerstone for your senior night.
All right, well, we had a great one bringing it to you. We will see you again on Thursday night.
Good night.